this Sunday for general admission, and it's Wednesday through Sunday from 10 to 4. And on those days when we don't have a special event, we have a guided tour that departs at 10:30. So if you want to go and actually be shown around by a costume docent, you can go get there before 10:30, and it's free with your admission charge, and you can join on a tour and actually get an interpreted tour of the property.
Are the tours all day long, or do you have to sign up for them?
No, if you get there, you don't have to sign up for it. You just have to be there in time for 10:30. You go and you pay your admission in the gift shop, and that's where the tour departs from. And it's the tour itself is anywhere from an hour to 3 hours, depending on how many questions people have, how far people want to get into the details of the property. And so that's just once a day that departs.
I know that when you have special events, there's food vendors and food available. How about when it's just a regular day at Rancho de Las Golandrinas? Do you need to bring your lunch, or what do you?
On weekends, either special event weekends or non-special event weekends, so for just random weekends, you can buy New Mexican food at our food service, at our concession stand.
Oh, so there is a concession stand?
Yes, there is.
On the weekends?
On the weekends. For other days, there isn't. We have snacks in the gift shop, but we do recommend that people bring a picnic. It's the perfect place for a picnic under the cottonwoods and by the ponds and things. So it's kind of perfect for a picnic.
So I was looking at your schedule earlier. I saw you have a Lavender Fest coming up.
Yes, and that one actually, this is our 13th year doing the Lavender Fair. It's very, very popular. It's the Urban Lavender Fair. It used to strictly be the Lavender Fair when we had big fields of lavender.
I remember those fields.
And we don't have the big fields of lavender anymore. Unfortunately, they did die about 4 or 5 years ago.
Did they freeze, or what happened?
Yeah. And so we don't actually have the fields of lavender that we used to have, but we do have so many beautiful herb gardens. We have herb gardens full of all sorts of traditional herbs and healing remedies that people would have used in the Spanish colonial times. And we have, we have a volunteer who basically takes care of that herb garden all through the year. And during the Urban Lavender Fair, she takes tours of this herb garden and explains to people all the healing properties of these herbs and what they were used for historically, what they're used for now. And then we have vendors, because as you know, there are a lot of lavender farms around New Mexico.
But the event that you have coming up in 2 weeks?
Yeah, in a week and a half.
Let's talk about that one.
Okay, that's the Spring Festival and Children's Fair. This and Harvest Festival are the two events that we've been doing since the museum opened in 1972. So this is the 43rd annual, I think, Spring Festival. And back in the olden days, the museum was really open just Spring Festival, and Harvest Festival was open 2 weekends a year. That was it.
That was it?
Yes, that was it
you've really grown.
Back in the 70s and 80s, yeah. And so we still, of course, do those two events. They're the most traditional of our events. And at Spring Festival, we've just planted all the fields. The fields have just been planted. And so this is sort of a celebration of the sowing of the land. And then, of course, at the end of the season at Harvest Festival, that's then the celebration of reaping the crops from the field and the celebration of bringing in the harvest. So what kind of activities will you have for kids? For kids, we have a lot of activities. We'll have wagon rides, which are very popular. The kids can take a little wagon, horse-drawn, well, it's actually mules, huge mules, draft mules that take the...
Like hayride wagons? Is that
well, yeah, except without the hay.
Right.
Just with the seats.
How fun.
Yeah, and so they can take a wagon ride, and then they can also we have lots of different arts and crafts. For example, they can knit on miniature looms, and they can punch little tin ornaments, and they can make ramilletes, which are well, they're like little garlands of flowers.
Oh, nice.
You probably would recognize it if you see it, just little scraps of paper that you put onto garlands. And then they can try on we have this collection of costumes that are like the Spanish settlers' costumes, so the kids can dress up like a Spanish settler and have their picture taken, dressed up in the
And
old
this
school.
is June 7th and 8th?
June 7th and 8th, so it's not this weekend, but the following weekend. So people can come out on Sunday this weekend, because it is our first official day opening to the public.